Hello, can you hear me okay? Yeah, I like my own voices, so I tend to yell loud. If you do, raise your hand. I'll give you a cookie, okay? Oh, smart guys. They are A student. Oh, yeah, I like it. You guys are smart. That's why you look handsome and big and tall. Thank you so much. So, okay. All right, buddy. I like it. I like to talk to myself, and I apologize. I cannot talk like this at home. They don't want to hear me, so thank you for listening to me. Thank you. Shannon, I appreciate it. She knows I'm cooked up my work, and whenever I come home, anyway, I'm a lonely guy. So thank you so much for seeing all of you. Thank you. Okay, where was I? All right, enough of myself. Okay, let's go. Next in line. I know this guy who owns Rockets. He owns about 600 restaurants. And I was invited to his house one day next on the 600 restaurant. Isn't it great? My goodness. And that's his house at the River Oak. I guess it was a mistake. He invited me and my wife. So I went over there and had a big party. And next, isn't it beautiful? And he had a whole bunch of beautiful cars. You like the cars? And he had a swimming pool. It's a lazy river swimming pool. And he's got, he owns aquarium. So he put a salt, it's a salt water. And he had a shark in the swimming pool. And of course, people who are millionaire, he's a billionaire. So he was drinking a little bit. He was a little tipsy. Oh, did I say his name? Well, some unknown billionaire. And then I forgot it's recorded, so I have to be careful. So two sharks going on the lazy river. Wow, he's a really partier. And then he was a little tipsy, and he says, go back, please. He says, where was it? He says, anybody who's dare to swim across this swimming pool, I will give you one of the cars. Wow! As soon as he said that, somebody jumped in. Swimming, see that? Swimming. Wow! Saw that, shark passed by. He came across. Unbelievable. I saw with my own eyes. And he came and he says, everybody was clapping, right? Incredible. Two sharks. I mean, he risked his life to cross Salt River, lazy walk. And he says, which car do you want? What kind of car do you want? I guess I want Ferrari, right? Rolls Royce, Ferrari, whatever is free, you'll take it. Yeah. I'll take it too. Whatever. Whatever. What car do you want? And the guy says, who pushed me? Thank you. Next in line. Yeah, that really happened. So I came to the United States a long, long time ago when the tiger was talking. Anyway, so a long time ago. I was only Asian in a small city nearby Fort Worth. Long, long time ago. Long, long time ago. I was only Asian. And, when you are different, you get bullied all the time. So I got beaten up a lot. 15 guys beat me up, and, I look different. I kind of lived in a place like a Conroe. So I was very lonely, bullied, could not speak English. Only thing I could say is this a window? That's a window. That's it. So, but thankfully, back then, church. It was a small town. So we went to this church for the first time in our life with our family, as a family. And I met a pastor there who mentored me, who liked me. He's a white guy, liked me. It was incredible, right? I mean, I apologize. Back then, we can say white guy. What are you going to say? Anglo? Honky? Well, anyway. Uh, so, incredible. White guy liked me, right? And whenever I go to high school, I get beaten up by white guy, but this white guy liked me, so I like this hunky. Anyway, he liked me, I liked him, and I learned a lot, I like him. He laughs. Nobody laughs at me. I mean, thank you. I love you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You can call me an Anglo any day.
Yeah. So where was I? From there, I got mentor. So, when you grow up, when you're bullied, you want to have somebody who's on your side. So thankfully, there was a pastor who loved me, who cared for me. Really, he was like my father. Went to his house and he taught me how to shoot. Yeah, I mean, he's a cowboy, white guy. So next, of course, and I went to Oral Roberts University. It's a religious college. I like to be, in that church surrounding. You are in the church surrounding. I like the feeling, right? Everybody's liked, everybody loves, and there, next in line, please, next. One of the guy who went there was intern for President Reagan during that time. So that gave me an idea. Wow, I like to work in White House. Why not, right? Get away from small town nearby Fort Worth. It's a hick town, right? It's, hick town. So next, there was a big parade in my hometown, July 4th, long time ago. And there was this guy. He was a congressman. He was a speaker of the House. Big guy. We lived $150 housing. So I just walked up and says, Mr. Wright, his name is Wright, Wright. And may I work for you? Out nowhere, right? Bold. My parents made $8 an hour. I live in $150 housing. I went up there, Congressman, can I work for you for next summer? Sure. Well, why don't you give me a resume and give this to some person? So I worked hard, took out my resume, recommendation letter. I put it all together and gave this person. I was a freshman in college. I really want to get out of Cowtown. So I prayed hard. I prayed since July till May of next year. I was sophomore. I prayed. I had a picture and said, I want to go to Washington, D.C., work for congressman, right? That's a dream. So you need to I had a vision. I want to go. I don't want to wear cowboy boots and big belt buckle, I had to wear that back then. If not, I was not one of them, even though my face was not like them. But, so next. So Jim Wright used to be a friend of JFK. He had a breakfast 3 hours before he got shot in Fort Worth. Next, please. That's Jim Wright. Next. He was right next to Bush. He was a Speaker of the House. What that means, President, Vice President, Speaker. He rules back a long time ago. So I prayed for 9 months. God answered my prayer. Back then, we didn't have an internet or telephone. I had a message called Washington, D.C. 1 week before summer break. Incredible, right? My father, $8 job. We live in $150 housing. I was a nobody. People bullied to me. God answered my prayer. Right? It's amazing. Why me? God answered it. 9 months. I'm nobody. Seriously. So I went to Washington, D.C. Look at that. This happened when Ronald Reagan was sleeping on Saturday night. So he slept a lot. So I was being cool. I took the picture. There I am, please. I was not making a lot of money. I look cool, but I was only opening the mails, intern. I look cool, right? I just, look at that, seeing, newspaper, but still I act like a big shot, but I'm not. So, yeah, and then from there, I met a lot of people. That's JFK's son before he passed away. Talked to him, and I like to hang around with VIPs, Bush and Ted Kennedy. I don't know, these people you may not know, but Clinton, I met him when he was governor. Had I known he was going to be president, I could have been living nicer. I didn't know he was going to be president. He was just governor. They were making fun of him. Houston was bigger than Arkansas, right? Guy who's running, governor, Arkansas, right? Governor from Arkansas, you don't. Anyway, Vice President Mondale and Mrs. Rosalind Carter. Next. I'm not important, so I'm showing you an important picture that I hang out with. So that's a Korean president who got Nobel Peace Prize. This man I like, Billy Graham. I met him. Oh, when I shake hands, I felt like I was shaking the hands of Moses. I felt the presence. You know, it's kind of like a shaking hands of Shannon. I feel the presence. Thank you. Martin Luther King, wife, was nice. Please, next. And then I went to night school for 12 years. You know, I told you my father, $8 an hour. We live in $150 housing. Went to night school, got my BS, and went to BS. Yeah, it was really BS. And then JD, well, law school at night. I mean, going to school was very difficult. I had 3 jobs, passed the bar exam with God's help. You know, could not speak English. I still can, but I passed the bar. It's a miracle. Here it is. I've only been in the United States maybe 13 years. But God is incredible. God is incredible that I went to law school. I'm not like you. You make all A's, but I wasn't like that. I just was a mediocre student. Oh, you make all A's. Yeah, so I made it. So I went to law school, passed the bar. But in Washington, D.C., there are too many lawyers. If you meet 4 people, 1 person is a lawyer. I went to University of Maryland, just like University of Houston, just regular school, and I didn't go to Yale or Harvard. And like I said, I'm not intelligent. That's why I hang around with very important people. Anyway, looking for a job, very hard to get a job. So I literally, back then we didn't have an internet, so we had to type with a typewriter, and I typed over 1,000 mails. Send them out all over D.C. Zero. I could not get a job. Well, because of course I was not looking handsome like his. If I wasn't looking handsome like his, I could have got a job. But I was praying, disappointed. Went to law school, passed the bar exam, could not get a job for 2 years. While working for Congress, I was talking to one of the gentlemen. I keep on knocking. I applied. And then next, with another congressman's help, I went to Virgin Island. Have you heard of Virgin Island? That's the way it's located. Isn't it beautiful? How God answered prayer. I was there, going to beach every weekend. That is a jail of Virgin Island. That's how you look from the jail. So if you wanna commit a crime, go to Virgin Island. You have a nice view. That's a really beautiful view, isn't it? Right next to the beach, cool breeze, no air conditioning. So don't commit a crime here. Go to Virgin Island. I have lots of friends. So next. So one day I was working too hard. 3 years I was there. I put too many people in jail. And they didn't like me, right? If I put you in jail, you didn't like me, right? So they're into voodoo. One day, my car, they spread chicken blood all over. So what did I do? Lord, help. They're going to kill me, right? My life is at stake. I was working too hard. You should just go to 1,000 people, I put in jail. You get upset. And they'll give me a warning. They put the blood, chicken blood. I'm sure it's not. So I prayed hard and next. So I got a job in Washington, here in Houston as one of the first I'm a Korean American federal prosecutor. Again, that's God intervening my life. Made a little bit more money and 9 years. And at the end of 9 years, I got a case at the Wells Fargo Bank nearby, let's say, Houston. And there was a bank robbery, and they knew the combination. When they knew the combination, it's a lot of money. It's inside job. So they took a lot of money away, and they went to 12 people, Asian gang, of course, and they were smart enough to know the combination. And they were spending money like crazy. So they went to a bar that morning, And there was advertisement, 50,000 award to find these people. And they were so happy. They were on TV, right? They robbed approximately several $100,000. It was one of the biggest heists. And the person told the waiter, say, hey, that's us. So when you steal money, don't tell people. Keep it to yourself, okay, one-on-one. So there they are. They all went to jail. But a couple of years later, I was having fall in Bel Air, and one guy tapped my shoulder and says, Mr. An, we are out. So yes, they don't like me again. They'll give me a warning. It's an Asian gang. You know how a gang is. I mean, they don't care. They know, you know, if you want to, you can find where I live, you know. So, by the way, I live in P.O. Box. I don't have address. I live in P.O. Box. So, 19903 Houston, Texas, 77224. So, I prayed. I put my life insurance. I put, in case I go away, I want to have my wife live comfortably. So from there, I went to law firm, big law firm, international law firm. God gave opportunity at the time, 25 years ago. There are only one or two Asian attorneys, so they wanted somebody have Asian, you know, representing big Korean company. Of course, I want to do that. I want to do that 12 years prior. Ever since I graduated, I want to work for law firm. So I got the job. I quit, went to law firm, representing all this Samsung and all that. I went to around the world about 20 to 50 times. Went to Korea 50 times, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Oman, London, Paris, Netherlands, and Spain, of course, and Beijing and all that. God has been good. Went to 4 years of working too hard. So I had my own law firm because I want to stay home with my family, even though they don't like me. Next. And of course, I represented Korean biggest LNG carrier company. They build the ships. Next. And of course, Qataris oil minister. This guy, he's a billionaire. He owns many ships. And I was shaking his hand. I was expecting some gold bar. He didn't give it to me. I met a lot of billionaires. They're very stingy. That's why they are billionaire. And I represent them. And this is ConocoPhillips chairman. I represent him, take him to Korea and Qatar. And I opened a relationship with a Daewoo, and they purchased over $800 million worth of LNG carrier. And I was right in the middle. So incredible, right? I was right in the middle, $800 million deal. Samsung, I represent Samsung, please, here in Austin. I represent Bush family. That's one of the Bush brother. And that's a now current chairman who went to jail for about a year and came out. So he's a chairman of Samsung. I represent them 25 years ago. Now they're expanding in Tyler, Texas, $200 billion. So I'm glad to be part of that. God gives. And now, of course, doing missionary work and homeless, continue to do that. Next. So here I am. I'm looking at back. I'm talking fast because I want to save my time. You know, I'm a Korean immigrant, not so good looking, but God gave me opportunity to work for Congress in Washington, D.C., top of the Speaker of the House of Representatives for 9 years, became federal and state prosecutor, 12 years, and legal representative of Samsung, LG, SK, Hyundai, all big companies. And then worked for international law firm. They had 10,000 lawyers. I went around the world for 20 or 30 times. And I'm an attorney. Of course, most important work for me is this, talking to you about what God has done to me, and He's real. Even though I'm a loser in many areas, God helped me. So I didn't go Yale, Harvard. I'm not an A student. I'm not good looking, but God was there to help me. If God can help me, God can help you. Next, please. So, conclusion is, you know, some chance can hinder your success. Next. So it's not the fastest runner who's always win the race. It's in the Bible. Some race, like Olympics, they fall. And it's not the strongest warrior always win the battle. You think it is, it doesn't. And why sometimes go hungry? Next. And skillful are not necessarily wealthy. You know, sometimes they are lucky. You know, it's a luck, wealthy. It's not really smart. And it's not education who gets you success. Even a homeless guy, Yale graduate, he's homeless in LA. Wow, yeah. Go to CNN. So in the Bible, it says it all decided by chance and by being in the right place at the right time. God allow me to be in the right place at the right time. Only God controls that. Success is equal to preparation and opportunity. Sometimes major accident can happen like this, right? Sudden tragedy. Driving, log falls. Baseball bat hit him. Shot, accident can happen in the Caribbean. Here you go, motorcycle failure. Subway. There you go. Plane, space shuttle, space. They all went there, and that was the last time we saw them, you know. I was seeing them on TV. The most technology advanced, Learjet, here we go. So again, being at right place, right time, all my life, all my success, it's all connected. Next. So, just because it has not happened right now does not mean it never will. I know we want it yesterday. I want to work for a big law firm long time ago, but it took me 12 years to get there. I want to fly around the world like James Bond. I like James Bond because me and James Bond look alike, you know, and so it happened. I went around the world about 20 times with a briefcase, look sharp and all that kind of stuff. Next. So we have to wait until the time. Next. So God has perfect timing, right? So all my life I see that thankfully God was with me in every failure, every success, although it took time. God is in control. Trust me. Give me a wallet. Trust me. Give me a wallet first and then trust me. It's incredible, my life. I want to tell you, at your age, went to night school, struggle. At the time in Thanksgiving, I didn't have money. I didn't know there was a facility like this at the University of Maryland. I went to night school. I kind of ate with the homeless because I did not make a lot of money. I was making $500 a month, living in housing. Sometimes I lived in my car for about a couple of weeks. I rented a storage room for 1 month to live there. In DC, everything is expensive. Could not rely on my parents. Through it all, God was there. So I'm not here just blowing. So in my life, my friend, I know you want to get there, but in all God's timing. Had I not shared a meal at my 20s with the homeless, I would not help homeless now. I feel the pain. So a lot of things I do because of my experience. I was successful. I was talking to people. So God has timing, and we just have to be patient. I know we want to do it yesterday, so I want to let you know, here I am, I'm standing before you and let you know that every little failure, every success, God was there. I was so lonely, 12 years going night school, having 3 jobs by myself, on my apartment, whole bunch of rats. Back then, DC is very, yeah, so God was there. So I want to share this with you. I'm here live, and God has blessed me. I have 12 staff. I live in a nice area. Even though my kids don't like me, I have a family, 2 girls, So God is good. So I know at your age, I want to get there now. But if you put your trust, I know it's hard, but there was not much choice but to trust. That's the relationship. If you just have to trust and trust the process that God is in this. And when I look back 50 years of my life, I know I don't look that old, except this is a wig, by the way. Kind of cool, right? It's a wig. God has been there. God is there. God was there all the time. So I'm here to let you know, God exists. I'll put my life, I'll put my wealth, I'll put my life. So I am willing, really. Now I'm willing. I'm willing to die, yes. So I'm not just blowing. I didn't go to Yale, Harvard. I don't have a PhD. I went to mediocre school, University of Maryland, but through it all, God was there. So that, if God can do it for me, who is not so handsome, but look at you, you are so good looking, God can do better. Okay, God will do everybody equally. So I want to take questions. Any questions, please? We got some time. Thank you. You're a good-looking guy.
That's all we wanted.
I know.
In those moments where you had to sleep in your car due to circumstance, what was probably the thing that kept you going the most when you had time where you struggled that much, similarly to Job?
Yeah. Thank you for comparing me to Job. I appreciate it. I'm only dust compared to Job. But you know what? I apologize. I'm from poor family. We live in $150, kind of like a log hall, one of those houses that don't have a foundation. We come from Korea. My father got a job, $8. My mother sewed for a living. 3 of us living in a really literally shack, $150 housing. So I had no choice. My father, 18 years old, said, we don't have money for you. You just need to get out and do your own. So that's how poor that was. And so I didn't have any choice. I guess I'm a man, I got to do it, or, I have to do it. So I really didn't think about God a little bit. I said, I'm a man, I got to do it. This is what, take it like a man. So I did it. And I never had comfort of life, so I was not regretting it. This is what I dealt with. I'm going to sleep in the car. And I went to church bus. Church bus is open back then, so I slept in the church bus. It's a lot better than, sleeping in my car. So thank you for your question. You're going to have my cookie. Please ask me more questions. Ask me, please. Thank you, sir.
When you had to make these big decisions in your life, moving or whatever it was, going to law school, how did you know it was God?
I apply everywhere, baby. They're the one who gave me a job. I go. I apply 1,000 positions. I remember typing. There was only one job. Come on down. $20,000, I go. There was not much of, I want to work. No, I went there. And so that's another thing is, all my life, they didn't, it's a God work. So I went there, one job, and then there I met people, and I got to come to Washington, come to Houston. From there, they knew me, and the law firm recruited me, and then other recruiting. So once you get there, it's really knowing who you are, right? You see my personality. I like me. So I talk to people, and they like me, and so you need to go and talk to people. Just talk to people. So that's how I didn't have a choice. I won, so I went there.
Through all the hardship you went through, was there like a time where you were having maybe a bit of doubt of if God was truly there with you at all, or were you just comfortable?
So I told you I had 2 death threats, right, on Virgin Island here. There was not much. I know it's not. It's all cause I fasted. I did a liquid fast, but I had a whole bunch of drinking, punches. So it was a liquid fast, but I drank. Uh, so I prayed. There was not much choice but to pray. I didn't pray to Buddha. I didn't pray to anything. I knew the living God. So I said, God, help me. So it wasn't, I was a desperate. Somebody's going to kill me. What are you going to do? If they're going to kill me, I knew that God could protect me, right? I mean, what am I doing? I'm going to go hide. I cannot just quit the job professionally, right? You just kind of, how come you didn't have a job for 3 months? You have to have a job and then get another job. You don't do that. You just don't quit. So not much choice but to look out for God and kneel and pray. I did it. I did it. I did it. God hears your prayer, even though you don't feel like it. So one person described to me, pilot, they rely on instruments. Well, we rely on the Word of God. I'm going to give this to you, God's promise. Whether you feel like it or not, you rely on it. Sometimes your mother don't feel like she loves you, but He loves you. We don't go by feelings. We go by the Word. We're going to walk in the step. So that's it. Yeah, so is it God? Yes, of course I felt like God neglected me, but there was not much choice. God helped me. So my instant prayer, God help me, have mercy on me. I could not pray to Buddha. I don't have money to rely on. It's always God. So even now, I have 230 clients. Every month I have to have at least 10. And I'm supporting a lot of ministry and all that. But I pray every day, every month. I say, Lord, help me. I need to get a client. So even though you have to have a client, I pray. Every month I have to pray. So I rely on God every day. I have to, or no clients coming. So yeah, even now, I rely. Any questions? Please, ask me a question. Third cookie. Come on, come on. Yes, sir, thank you. You're a good man.
So, what was the feeling, when that first big check hit in your account? Like, what did you feel? Were you like, this is a life already?
So that's a good question. I want to share this with you. I told you that I helped to facilitate ConocoPhillips purchasing $790 million LNG carrier. Each costs about $230 million. So with my, I don't want to go into deep, with my help, ConocoPhillips, well, let's put oil company, purchased $790 million. And if you Google it, you'll be there, because I had to file a lawsuit to get the money. Anyway, it's in the Harris County, if you want to look at it, $790 million. So I got the money, but I'm not regular people. I was poor, so I don't spend. I apologize. I'm a little bit different. I know you white people. You like to go vacation as soon as you have money in the account, but I'm not like that. I mean, because I was poor. I didn't have money to eat. I could not go to McDonald's. So I put the money in the bank. I don't spend it. I don't go vacation. I know it's, yeah, cry for me, baby. So I put the money in the bank, a lot of money, lot of money, a lot of zeros. And I promised to God before that, I said, God, if I win this, I promise you to give certain percentage to you. You promise them, oh God, if I win this, I'll become priest, right? Or if I win this, I promise I'll become virgin, so I was praying. Thank you, thank you. I know you're a virgin. So where was I? Okay, so I made a prayer. I made a prayer. That God, if you give me, I promise to give you back because I was a little bit, because I didn't have money, I was stingy. I don't spend money. And I go to Salvation Army, get a clothes and, all that kind of stuff. I still do. No, I don't. Anyway. So I promised 12 years ago when I made a big bucks, I promised to God, but I didn't pay God back. But 5 years ago, somebody asked me to help homeless. So from there, I really don't like to contribute because I worked hard for it. And so I was helping homeless, and I helped here, there, here, there, here, there, here, there, here, there. So I began to open my purse, literally, and little by little, little by little. So I don't want to say too much on this thing because camera is there. My wife could have look at that. But anyway, I am alive. I promise to God I give back, right? So I'm alive today because I calculate how much I made money, how much I gave, okay? And what I gave so far in my entire earning, it's not bragging, entire earning, and what I gave, I have a calculation, I have two bookkeepers doing all this. I gave more than what I should. And I want to give more. Because at the end of the day, what matters for me is when I stand before God in heaven. You talk about heaven and hell. When I stand before him, he's going to ask me, what have you done for me? Wow, that's what matters. What have you done for me? So even though I'm not afraid of nothing, I'm afraid of God. Fear of God. Because one day, all of us will stand before God. And he's going to ask, I gave you such a talent. What have you done for me? Whoa, right? So I have a calculation. So thankfully, I'm alive today, and I kept God's promise more than what I should. So God hears your prayer. I made a promise. I promise I do this. And thankfully, I was living 12 years ago. Now I fulfill my promises and more. And I will continue to do so. So God is good. God watches. God hears. God hears your prayer. You don't feel like it, but he hears. And he's real. Yes, sir. Two of you. Yes, go ahead.
If Jesus showed up right now and told you to give it all away, would you hesitate?
I would love to, but, I'd love to. But, because of certain constraint, I'd love to. Seriously. I love to give away 90% and live on 20 or 30%. And that's what I do at this time. Seriously. Because, I went to a nice restaurant, you eat it all. I hang around with the good people, right? But at the end of the day, what matters is what have you done for me? What have you done for me, right? That's what matters. Eternity, now think. Eternity, what matters is what have you done for me? And so I have this book for you, every one of you. Any other question? You ask question, no? Come on. 4, that's great. Yeah, young lady. Very interesting question. To be honest with you, they say, well, I hang around people. Let's be a lawyer. I took a political science. That was the easiest class to do it. So to be honest with you, you don't know. I don't know. I want to be honest with you. God don't tell me to do this. I just, that was the easiest. I hate math. I hate science, biology, and the easiest form political. I was in politics, so whatever makes me happy, easy. Sometimes how to listen God's voice. I didn't have much choice but have a political science because I like the subject. It's just impractical, right? Political science, right? CPA is better, but I took CPA course and within 2 weeks, it's not for me. So certain things, your DNA, it doesn't work. So it just sometimes your conscience and what you like to do, it just helps. And then God will make a way. Remember my life? And I want to work in the White House. I want to be a politician. That's what I do, but it's just different ways. So you just have to continue. I know people say, well, pray, pray, but pray. That's the only way that God will intervene in your life. Every day, God help me. This morning I said, Lord, help me. Every day I need you. Help me, help me, help me, help me. He heard that many, many times. Help me, help me, help me. So he hears you. He will guide you. And it's on his watch that you are living. Thank you so much for asking. The young lady, any other young lady who want to ask me? Oh, yeah, thank you so much.
Can you say, like, what you said earlier, something popped up in my head, and I could be wrong about this, but when you were saying when you get to heaven and you face God, and he asks you what you've done for him, are you saying in a way that we have to earn his favor?
No, of course not. Our art, it's a little bit different. I don't have to do anything. God's unmerited grace that we are saved, right? We don't earn. We are saved. We are saved. But faith without work is dead. If you say that I love Jesus and then go to drinking and sleeping with your girlfriend every night, that's just a lip service. There are a lot of lip service Christians. So if you say I love you, then I will stay with you. You don't hang around with him, right? I like to hang around with you. See, that's adultery. So a lot of time we worship celebrity, we worship Facebook, we worship Instagram, we spend more time doing other stuff, saying, I go to church. Come on, right? If you really love, then you do what he wants you to do. If you really truly love him. If you and I go date, you will not go behind my back. That'd be wonderful. If you go, you will not date somebody else. We are married. So, no. Thank you for all this. So I'm married to Jesus. I'm exclusive. So I do what he says. I will not do anything behind his back. If you truly say, I love you, I accept you as my Lord and Savior. Not lip service. When you get married, you say, you are my, right? That's it. And sometimes, that's how I see it.
You're right. It's in the Bible, too. It's not like faith alone.
Well, one of the most important things, I apologize, when I'm afraid of, Lord, I went to church. I sang. We healed people. We did miracle. But Jesus says, I never knew you. That's the thing I'm afraid of most. Do you really know me? Is he going to say, I knew you? Right? If you don't feel comfortable with the Jesus now, you are not going to be comfortable in heaven. See, if you're not familiar with him, you don't know me, so you're not going to come to my house, even though I have a P.O. box. You're not going to knock my door and say, can I sleep here tonight? You're not going to ask me that because we don't have a relationship. Right? If you have a relation with a Jesus, oh, Daddy, I'm going to come in. Right? If you don't have that relationship, then all of us, we have a problem. If you don't feel comfortable saying, hey, Daddy, can I come in? You don't need to come in. You just walk in. Right? If you don't have that now, you're not going to have that in heaven. You're not going to have the heaven. You got to be familiar with it now, while you are breathing, while you are alive. Because once you are gone, it's too late. Right? So I apologize. I like to be dramatic, and thank you for bearing with me. Oh, I'm through. Thank you. Thank you very much.
But thank you again, Mr.